two nations, Iran and India. Iran is facing a lot of sanctions. Iran is a much smaller economy than India, much more inferior military hard power than India. Yet it funds a lot of proxies in the Middle East. India, being such a much larger economy, being the fourth strongest military power, doesn't do any of that. Why? Why? See, Iran is nowhere compared to India on the hard power scale. Nowhere. Yeah. Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons. Iran is a small economy. Iran is a small conventional military compared to India. And yet Iran projects power across West Asia. Let's go to the map. Give me a second. Let me bring the map on the screen. Okay. Iran projects power in large regions of West Asia. See, Iran projects power in Iraq. At least 50% of Iraq's population is Shia Muslim, and Iran is a Shia Muslim nation. So Iran is able to project power in Iraq. Until last year, Iran had an ally in Syria. Now you have an Al-Qaeda government in Syria, so that's over. Iran has friends in Lebanon. Iran is able to project power in Lebanon as well. And Iran is able to project power in Yemen as well, because its ally is the Ansar Allah faction, the Houthis. So Iran has plenty of power projection capabilities in the region. Iran also, let's not forget, has an ally in Armenia. Iran is an ally of Armenia. A Shia Muslim nation is an ally of a Christian nation in the Caucasus region, and the other ally is a Hindu nation, India. Very interesting scenario over there. So Iran, despite being much weaker than India, projects so much power in West Asia. Right? It's able to fund proxies. It's able to have those proxies work on its behalf, and geopolitically, geostrategically, and so on. So that's why when people talk about the powerful nations, they talk about the US, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. No one talks about India. India historically has been a soft state, a punching bag. Pakistan keeps punching, jabbing. India just keeps absorbing it. Doesn't even fight back. Doesn't even defend itself, right? That was the situation until 2014. Now it's kind of different, but we still aren't that kind of nation where we are funding proxies across the board and having them fight on our behalf. One reason is that Iran is an Islamic nation in an Islamic neighborhood. And wherever in West Asia, in whichever nation or whichever region you have Shia Muslim populations, there's going to be an affinity between them and Iran. And Iran is able to weaponize that. So Iran has never been a punching bag. Iran has never been a soft state. It's been a very hard state. It kind of punches above its stature. It punches up. India historically hasn't punched at all, except once or twice and then sit down again. Iran also has the advantage of political continuity, political stability. Since 1979, the same government, right? So there's long-term execution of policies, and that's why they've been able to cultivate things long-term. And Iran is a geopolitically ambitious nation. Iran regards itself as the leader of the Islamic world. Iran doesn't regard itself as a nation who will follow someone. We will lead. We were once a great empire. We are an ancient nation. Who are you all to talk to us? We should lead you. We will lead you. So that's the attitude Iran has. India is the most ancient civilization of all. But the Indian government is a colonial government. The entire structure is colonial. India is defined as a secular nation. India's official policy dissociates itself from our civilizational status. The Indian government and the Indian machinery regards India as a nation state, not as a civilization state. And that's why in India we have democracy, which means every 5 years at least you're going to have potential change of government. And you've had lots of changes of government in the past. Before 2014, you had coalition governments where there's a coalition government, there's essentially nothing happens. And governments come and go. That's all. So there's no political stability. There's no continuity of policies and so on. That's why India has never had a long-term proper policy. It's only right now, the past since 2014 that we have had the same prime minister, that we've had a focus and a clear direction and clear focus on what our policy should be. And yet India, and so if you want to have proxies who operate for you, you have to cultivate them for a long time. You can't cultivate proxies around the world in 3 years, even 10 years. It takes time. And see, India doesn't have the advantages that Iran has. Even if it is now geopolitically ambitious, even if it may now be geopolitically ambitious, we don't have the advantages the Iranians have, which is all the Shia populations in West Asia, right? Who are often oppressed by the other populations where they live, if they are minorities, which will obviously make them easier to weaponize by Iran. We don't have any such thing. We have Hindu diasporas and all, but Hindus are not a political people, right? Hinduism is not a political religion. And even if Hindus are oppressed, the government doesn't care. So it's a combination of various factors, right? So that's why India acts very differently from Iran.